Hi, my name is Maria and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make two dishes that require beans and rice. And in all of Latin America, beans and rice are a very important combination. The first dish is going to be called Tacu Tacu, and that comes from Peru. And the next one is called Casamiento, which is from Honduras and El Salvador. But there are different, in all of the Americas, there are different versions of these beans and rice combination. So in the United States, we have something called Hop and John. In Cuba, they call it congri, or they also call it moros and cristianos. And these are just basically an influence that when the Africans established themselves in the Americas, the rice and beans in the different countries had different formats of how they came to be. But it was heavily influenced by the Africans in those countries. And so when you think of beans and rice, what I think is that it's a wonderful combination. It's a complete vegetable protein. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, any time of the day, and it's very economical and healthy. So beans and rice, in Honduras and El Salvador, the dish is called casamiento. And casamiento means marriage. And that is the perfect name for it because it's a marriage of the beans and rice that are perfect and they complement each other. So with the tacu tacu from Peru, I have some pinto beans here that are all mashed up. And so I've mashed these beans up and I'm going to add a few things. So there's some onions in here, but I'm also going to add a little bit of salsa. Now in Peru, they have a special chili called ají, and it's a yellow chili that is really good, but not easy to find here. So I couldn't find it, so I just put, I was going to put some Pueblo chilies, but I used those in a different dish. So I'm going to use some salsa, and then I am going to throw in a little bit of cheese. It's the cotija polvo, which is like a powdered cheese. And so I'm just going to throw that in. I just kind of want to see what kind of flavor it brings. And so I'm going to mix all of that together. And this is probably about 2 cups of beans, maybe a little less. And then I am going to put some rice in here. So I have my rice that I've already cooked. And both these dishes are kind of like a good dish for leftover stuff. And so you can really experiment when you have other leftovers that you want to throw into these dishes. So I'm just fluffing my rice with a fork because I just got through cooking it. So it was 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, and I just boiled them together for 15 minutes. And this is basmati rice. So I'm going to put a cup in here. And I'm going to just mix it all together. And then I have a pan here that's heating up. I'm going to make it a little bit hotter because what you're going to do with the tacu tacu is you're going to make a little bean and rice patty. That's why the beans had to be kind of mashed up. And you can use any beans that you want. I decided to use the pinto beans. And you can have like canned pinto beans that are refried and just use that. Or you can use any bean that you want and then just mash it up because you're going to have these little patties. So I think I'm going to add a little more rice to it. And I put a little bit of salt in there. And then I'm going to throw in my oil. You can use any oil. I was using olive oil before, but I'm going to put in some canola oil right now. And so I'm going to make my little patties and throw them in there in a sec. But I'm going to go ahead and start heating up the next dish. So right here, in this pan here is where I'm going to make the casamiento. So right in this dish over here, I have some black beans. And I have quite a bit of liquid with these black beans. And so this, I just had some canned beans and put a little bit of extra water in there and salt, and I put onions in there. I'm going to put a little bit of onions in here as well to fry them up. And I'm going to fry the rice. And when I'm frying the rice, once it gets to be kind of toasted, I'm going to throw in the black beans with it, with a lot of liquid, and then cook down the liquid. And then that's going to be your casamiento. So it'll actually be dry, even though it'll have some liquid in there at the beginning. But I think I am getting ready for these tacu tacus. Now some people are really good at throwing some of this, the tacu tacu on the hot griddle and then forming little patties just like that. I'm not that good at that, so I am going to use my hands a little bit with the spoon to form a patty, because I'm not an experienced tacu tacu chef. But when I did try it, and I have never done this before, I'd never made these before, but when I made this tacu tacu, I don't know why, because I love beans and rice, but I was so surprised how good this turned out. And it was super easy, and it was really good. And so I am going to cover this, and I want that patty to get nice and toasted. I'm going to turn it down just a little, and then I'm going to get this one started. I'm going to use olive oil for this one and throw it in there. And that's quite a bit, but I want to fry that rice really well in that dish. Now with the beans already heated, I don't think it'll take too long. And I'm going to use 1 cup of rice in here to fry. Oh, before I do that, I'm actually going to fry some of those onions as well. I'm going to get those going. And you can put some bell pepper. Green bell pepper is something that's real common to put into this dish. I just didn't have any. And then you can also, experiment, throw in something else. Try it simple at the beginning, and then you can throw in whatever you want, really. So I am going to put my cup of rice in there and fry it pretty well. And while that's frying, I am going to check on my tacu tacu. And I might have put a little bit too much oil. I don't know if it's going to hold. And I just turned it over. And so the rice is looking pretty good. If you can see this. But it's starting to get a little toasty. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some of the black bean in there. And I'm putting a lot of the liquid as well as the beans. Sorry, my dog is barking, but she's just going to have to wait. And so, now the casamiento is going to just fry a little bit longer, and then it'll be ready to serve in just a minute. Now, this actually, there's another dish called gallo pinto, and gallo pinto is the national dish of Costa Rica and Nicaragua. And so if you go online, you could actually find a lot of different beans and rice dishes where they have different types of ingredients that they put in, different ways of cooking them, and they all look really good. Really good. I'm going to check on my Tacu Tacu. It's coming along pretty good. I might have made it a little too big because it looks kind of fat, but that's okay. So one thing with the, when you're serving these, when you serve them, you can serve either one of them with whatever you want. Something that's real popular is to serve them with some plantains. So I made some plantains today to have with them. What's real popular also is if you're going to have it for breakfast, you could have with the Tacu Tacu, you can fry an egg and then put that on top. If you've never had rice with your fried eggs, you've been missing out because it's really good. So there are all kinds of ways that you can serve your beans and rice. But I think my casamiento is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and serve that. Now if you have some cilantro, you can put that on top of your rice dishes. You can put more cheese, whatever you want. But that's pretty much the casamiento. And you can see this is the beans and rice. And if it had bell peppers or garlic, even tomatoes you could throw in there. A lot of people make it in different ways, and it's all pretty good. So I hope you give it a shot, try the casamiento, and then let's see how this Tacu Tacu turns out. Now the Tacu Tacu, I made it probably too big, but here is our little patty. And it's a big one, so apparently I'm hungry. So that's probably why I made it so big. But you can make it in smaller sizes. One thing that I noticed, like in a lot of recipes, the Tacu Tacu, they made it kind of in the shape of a taco. And so I had this the other day with the fried egg, and it was really good. So I was surprised. I don't know why I was surprised, because beans and rice are a wonderful combination. But I am definitely having both these dishes, the casamiento and the tacu tacu, again. And that's definitely going to be a part of our menu here at home. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that you try one of these dishes, or you try the gallo pinto or the hoppin' john, and make it your own. Okay? Thank you and have a great day.